Hi, I'm Dawn, and this is where Shabby meets Bling.
This is Spring Summer Creator's Choice. I would like to thank my co-host, Monica, from Up All Night DIY. You're going to find the links to her channel and this playlist in my description box below. I am at the garden center at Walmart, and I'm telling you, I don't think anybody wants me to do gardening this year. There's nothing out. It's moving so slow, probably because the cold weather here keeps popping up. But, ooh, there's trees over there. Let's go check out the trees. This is a weeping pussy willow. I've always wanted one, but I really don't have a spot for one. So, till I can figure out what I might do with one, I'll pass on that. But they do have a ton of really nice looking fruit trees. They've got some apple, some peach, but I have a beautiful peach tree. Her name is Georgia. I love Georgia. She gave us so many peaches last year we couldn't eat them all. I had to freeze some. There's a lovely pear tree. I like pears. I really do. But you know what I like more? Cherries. And they have some really nice looking cherry trees. I think you guys know someone that's gonna buy a cherry tree. I'm inside now looking at the bulbs. I'm looking at vines. I need something that's a climber for my topiary pot. If you remember, I made it in this video, and she's in desperate need of an occupant. And I just need to choose a color. Not sure which color I'm going with yet. Probably a shade of lavender. The pink is a little too hot pink. I will also be picking up some more of the bearded iris. This is a true blue iris, and I already have some, and they are multiplying, but not fast enough for me. So I'm gonna pick up one more. I guess the tree and the bulbs will have to just satisfy my gardening appetite until someone puts perennials out. I'm heading home because I've got a tree to put in the ground. I would like to introduce you to my new friend. This is Chandler. As I've told you before, I name my trees. I've got Georgia, my peach tree. I have an apple tree. Her name is Fiona. And this is Chandler. Because he is a big cherry tree. Yeah. It's in good shape. I mean, this is a really good looking tree. I found a doozy. And once that hole is dug, Chandler's going in the ground. I've mentioned in the past the different things that we've dug up while planting things in our yard. And looky here, Purrington pavers. And you know how I love these things. I've even bought them. But we've dug quite a few up in our yard too, but not enough to do anything with. It's always fun to see what kind of treasures you dig up. I will leave a link to this project that I use Purrington pavers in the description box below. Here's Chandler in his new home. I will keep you updated on his progress. Different day. Since Chandler was planted, I've been doing a lot of raking and a lot of weeding. With all the rain we've had, my plants are really popping up. And as you can see, my peony bushes are getting very tall. So I need to create some collars for them so that when they go in full bloom, they're not laying on the ground. To create my collars, I will be using scroll top border fencing, which I thrifted. I've thrifted a lot of this stuff. It cost me $5.49 at the Goodwill. These metal posts I got for free at my favorite resale shop. I was at the right place at the right time. These will definitely come in handy. The first thing I need to do is figure out how much I need for each of my peonies. I have 2 large peonies and I've divided them out, and I have 2 smaller ones. I will not be creating collars for the smaller ones, just my 2 jumbo guys. Once I determine how much of the fencing I'll need, I'm gonna cut that section off, and then I'll go over to the other peony bush and do the same. I'll give it a little fit, like a tailor. He's making a little outfit for my little peonies. You ever notice how some people say peony and some people say peony? I guess it's kind of like Caribbean and Caribbean. I say Caribbean. Caribbean? Yeah, Caribbean. Peony. Yeah, peony. Once I have both pieces cut, I'm going to take them inside because we're going to make them pretty. They're a little plain right now, and that will never do. Step 1 is to connect my ends. I am just using the fencing wire itself to bend them and connect them to each other. Pretty darn simple. As I am connecting them, I need to make sure that my scrolly design at the top stays continuous. I don't want like a fraction of a scrolly loop at the top because that would look silly, even though most people would never see it because the peonies are going to cover all this or most of it. I still need it to be continuous. Once I have created one big old circle, I am going to add the pretty parts to this collar. The pretty parts that I'm adding come in the form of this gorgeous metal ribbon. I picked this up on clearance at Hobby Lobby for $1.99 a roll. The original price was $7.99. And when I saw this stuff on sale, I bought every roll they had. Every roll. And I think I have maybe 5 different designs. Love it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to run 2 strips of this gorgeous ribbon around my little collar, one at the top and one near the bottom. I place the metal ribbon where I want it and I clamp it into place. That way it won't move on me when I wire it because I am going to wire this so it goes nowhere. Once I have it totally wrapped, I cut off the excess, making sure I have enough left on either end to fold it back on itself so I don't have any sharp edges. This wire is rebar wire, and you can get it at any hardware store, and this is like my favorite wire to use. It's also sometimes called oven wire. Don't know why, but it is. I am cutting little lengths right around 2.5 inches long, and I'm bending them over so it kind of looks like a hairpin. Once I create that little hairpin, I am putting it through that teeny tiny little hole right about there, and I am making sure that behind that hole is part of my wire fencing so I have something to attach my metal ribbon to. Once my wire is in place, I simply twist it. I am using my needle nose pliers to do so. I am not putting a piece of wire through each of these tiny little holes, only enough to hold it into place. I attached each piece of ribbon in roughly 12 places, just enough to make sure that ribbon would never come off. Once I finished securing that top piece of ribbon, I moved on to the bottom and added a piece there as well. I did not need to use wire pins to hold it into place. This little piece right there, I just bent that up and around the bottom of my ribbon, and that did the trick. Once finished, I will address those metal stakes. I do not know why the thrift shop didn't want these and why they were throwing them away, and I don't care because they're going to be helpful to me. They're going to become the posts for my collars. The first thing I need to do is flatten the undecorative end, and not to say that the top is decorative, but it does have a cute little knob on it. These are hollow, and I don't know if you've ever tried to pound a hollow pipe into the ground, but it's not very easy. That's why I'm creating a flat, sharp edge. You've seen me do this before with curtain rods to act as tiny little finials for other projects, so you know it works. Tried and tested. I will flatten the ends of 6 of these little pipes, 3 per collar. Now it's time to paint everything. I mean everything. We're going to paint our little stakes. We're going to paint our collars, and they will all be painted in a Rust-Oleum Ultra Matte black paint. Ooh, pretty. I don't want these collars to be the focal point. They are going to serve a purpose. They are going to have a function. But you know me, so they also have to be pretty. There is something to say about form and function working hand in hand. The black will serve 2 purposes. It will kind of fade away into nothingness, and it will coordinate nicely. If seen, it will coordinate with the rest of my wrought iron in my gardens and in the rest of my yard. After I get that first coat on both the collars and all of my little posts, I'm going to set them aside to dry. I will have to come flip them over and flip them around to make sure I get every bit of every part of all my components covered thoroughly. I need a way to attach my posts to my collars. Now, if you see right there, there is already an indentation in my post, which will make drilling a hole through it very easy. Once I drill my hole, I'm going to be able to take this outside and run a piece of wire through it, and then feed that wire through the collar and twist it just exactly the same way I attached my metal ribbon to my fencing. I will only be drilling one hole per post. If you think about it, one of the ends of this post is going to be hammered into the ground. And if just one point on the post at an upper level is attached to the collar, it will be extraordinarily stable. After my holes are all drilled, this project is complete, except for installation. I picked up this little metal thing. I don't even know what it really, I don't know if it's supposed to be a plant stand, which it could be. You could put a plant on top there. Other than that, I have no clue. I guess it could be anything. But I got it at Goodwill for $1.99, and I'm going to use it as a collar for one of my plants that needs support. I'll show you that in a little bit. Remember back at Walmart in the garden center? Yeah, well, this is the vine I chose for my topiary pot. No surprise, a purple clematis. Now to dig a hole and plant my bulb. Once I get her in the ground, I will give her a really, really good drink of water. Then I will cover everything in mulch. We will check on her progress later. I have this very large, I'm saying this thing is a 3-foot circle, wire wreath form. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of that we just trimmed off of our wisteria. I trim this back and I have the plethora of it, and I am going to wind it around this 3-foot form. I have made other wreaths with my wisteria scraps before, but this should be a good size wreath. I will be using some wire to hold the first little pieces into place, and yeah, here we go. If you have vines in your yard, whether they be wisteria or some other non-poisonous vine, when you trim them back, keep them and make a wreath out of them. Because as you can see, you can purchase wisteria wreaths, and look what they go for. That's crazy, and those aren't even really great looking wreaths. So moral to my story, make your own. Okay, I got a really good start on it, and you can see it's starting to not be round here, so I have to force that in a little more. It's starting to get firm. It's not as pliable, but that's what I've got left. It's not as pliable as it was. I let it sit in the sun too long, but I can rectify it, and I didn't use wire yet, which I'm glad of. I don't want to use wire if I don't have to. So I've got some strung out over there, and then I'm going to come back and detangle all this, and I'll show you when I get a little more on here. Continue to be continued. Okay, now I have almost a square shape, but it's getting better. It's getting better, and I still have all of that. You can see it's a decent wreath now. You can, some of the green is still showing, but that will be rectified. And I still have this piece over here. And there's still some pieces off the actual wisteria that I want to cut back. So I'm just going to keep at it. More winding. Let's go. This is what's remaining. I have all of this vine left. But here's my wreath. Look at her. Isn't she glorious? I need to tidy it up and tighten it up, but it's basically done. Look at that. Look how thick that is. It's so pretty. It looks like a giant bird nest. Lovely. I picked up this little wreath hanger for $1.49 at the Goodwill. And this is what's gonna hold that giant wisteria wreath in place. But first, it must be painted. Yes, indeed. I am using 2 different paint colors in tandem to cover this 1980s funky brass look. Both of my paints are Rust-Oleum, and one is a rusty metal primer, and the other is an aged copper metallic paint and primer in one. I alternate misting both these paints onto the little hanger so that they blend together and become one consistent color. I need this to coordinate with that large metal medallion on the side of my garage. Once it's thoroughly painted, I will set it aside to dry.
My projects are complete. Let's head on out and take a look.
Here's that little metal plant stand. Now it's a collar for one of my plants. I have it staked in place, and now I'm confident that as she grows nice and tall, she won't tip over. And here is Chandler. Look how well he's doing. Look at all those leaves. I'm really hoping that despite the consistent rain and then the cold spells, that maybe, just maybe, we might get some cherries. First year we planted Georgia, our peach tree, we got peaches, so you never know. This is where I planted that blue bearded iris. I also transplanted some of my other bearded iris too, so it has more of an instant impact. I also thinned out some of my other plants and transplanted them over here as well. I will be expanding this area even more. Sadly, I haven't had the opportunity to get over here and weed and mulch because of all the rain we've had recently. This entire area is to the left of that large medallion that's on my garage wall. Let's get a really good look at my topiary pot. There she is. Can you believe how fast this thing is growing? It's really pretty now, but just wait until this whole thing is filled in and there's blooms on it. It already has buds. How exciting. And how about my wreath? Doesn't it look tiny? I mean, it looks tiny. But keep in mind, this medallion is 5 feet wide. 5 feet wide. And what a pretty, natural element this adds to the mix. There was so much metal here and a little bit of glass. So much hardscape, it really needed to be softened, and this big old wreath does just that. This would probably sell retail for over $300. Not too shabby. And here's my funnel planter. I finally got the opportunity to pick up some perennials and put inside. I placed my funnel inside the base of an old bird bath. I absolutely love it. It's going to take a lot more work, but this section of my garden is really coming together, and it's even prettier at night. We have one more item to look at, and that would be the peony collars. Unless you're right on top of it, you almost can't see it. It is very subtle, but on closer inspection, you can see that gorgeous metal ribbon. This will be the first time since I planted my peonies years and years ago that I will be assured that once they're in full bloom and we get a good rainstorm, I won't come outside after the fact and find my whole plant is on the ground. Peonies are one of my very favorite flowers, and I'm glad now they're protected from the storms. I'll be posting updates on all these items as the summer progresses. This has been Spring and Summer Creator's Choice. Thanks again to Monica from Up All Night DIY for joining me. You're going to find the links to her channel and this playlist in my description box below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, and share. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and don't forget to check out my shop on Etsy. Ring the bell for notifications of all my upcoming videos. Subscribe and join. Both are great ways to support my channel. But for now, this is Dawn with Shabby Meets Bling. Thank you so much for watching. I really look forward to seeing you next time.